They will put the good of the country first, and we can all work together.
OK, well, let's see if we can shed some more light on that. Thank you both. Let's cross back now to Max Cotton, who's in Wells with voters today. Can the Lib Dems form a coalition with either party without upsetting their voters? What do you think, Max?
We are going to conduct negotiations for this proposed coalition right now, David, live in Wells. I'd like to introduce you, first of all, to Peter Wright and David Warburton, who are from the local Conservative Party, and Christina Barron and Brian Livings, who are from the Liberal Democrats. First of all, David and Peter, did you think that you were going to be here, being friends with your new friends here, the Liberal Democrats, after the general election?
It's a new beginning for us all, I think. It's a new politics, it's a new start, and there's no reason why we can't be friends for the next few years. What we've got to do is sort out the mess that Gordon Brown's caused to this country over the last 13 years and get the squatter, the unelected, twice over, unelected squatter out of Downing Street.
And how about you, Peter?
Absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind that this is something that we have to live with, and I'm sure we can make it work. I'm sure David Cameron and Nick Clegg are working very hard to ensure that the country has a stable government as soon as possible.
And you're happy to compromise on Trident and on immigration?
Well, it's not for me to make negotiations like that.
But you've got views, haven't you?
Well, I am merely one of a number of members in this constituency, and we all have our own individual views, but they're not really important at the current time, because it's very important that we sort the present political situation out. It really is too important just to look at...
to muck about with?
Absolutely.
All right, OK. Yeah. Now, let's talk to some Liberal Democrats. As I say, we've got Brian Livings and Christina Barron here. Brian, how do you feel about being at total political loggerheads with the Conservatives less than a week ago, and now you're talking about being in coalition with them, having some sort of agreement in the Commons?
There has been no winner in this election. We have now to put the national interest at the top priority. And if that means talking to the Conservatives and talking to the Labour Party, we have to do that. Our party leader, Nick Clegg, gave an undertaking prior to the election that he would feel support for that party that got the most votes and the most MPs. So the likelihood is that we would have to work, and we probably will work with Conservative Party, but on our terms.
All right. Christina, how do you feel about this new development?
Well, personally, like all Liberal Democrats, I'd rather have seen Nick Clegg in number 10. But the reality is that the electoral arithmetic means that the only two-party combination that can get a majority in the House of Commons is us and the Conservatives. And the one thing the people don't want, I'm quite confident the electorate don't want, another election. Right. So we've got to try and make this work. All
right, now, Jez the cameraman and I are just going to pull out to see all four of them standing there just for the moment. They were getting on like an absolute house on fire in the tea rooms earlier. The mood music, David, has been extraordinary from London today. And here we have four people who seem to be getting on terribly well. Very, very briefly, all four of you, you think that you can make this work politically despite your big political differences?
Oh, yes, we have to. Undoubtedly.
OK, David?
Somebody once said that politics is about a choice between the unpalatable and the disastrous. We've had the disastrous for 13 years. Perhaps this might seem unpalatable to start with, but come on, let's work together.
All right, Christina.
Politicians can put the country before their own advantage, and we're doing that.
You heard it here first, and what about you, Brian?
We have a duty to the British people to have a stable government, and however we do that, we must do it.
All right. David, if I could just finish by saying to you, Margaret Thatcher said that she was very, very patient, endlessly patient, so long as at the end of everything, people wound up agreeing with her.
That's always a good philosophy. Any predictions from you, Max?
I just think I've worked in politics for 20 years, David. I haven't got a clue what's going on here. Who would have thought that in Wells you'd have four people who seem to be getting on fine together and appear to believe that Clegg and Cameron can get on fine in government together? Okay. Extraordinary.
Yeah. Thanks, Max. I haven't got a clue either, as we're being honest. Thank you very much indeed. Well, tomorrow morning could prove shaky for what's called UK PLC as the markets open for trading. There's nothing they dislike more than uncertainty, and there's unlikely to be any deal made